Lena had never imagined moving to a new city would be this lonely. The cramped apartment felt colder than she expected, the silence heavier. Her only company was a promise of a roommate who'd arrive that night, someone she'd never met but agreed to share rent with to make ends meet. At 10 p.m., after unpacking the last box, her phone buzzed. A message from her new roommate, Max. Running late. Should be there by midnight. Lena sighed. Just a couple more hours to kill in the quiet. She busied herself with tidying up, trying to ignore the creeping nervousness. Max's profile was sparse. Just a few photos and a brief bio. Musician, late nights, early mornings, it said. She wondered what kind of person he really was. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, Lena heard the faint sound of keys jingling downstairs. Her heart quickened. The door creaked open, and Max stepped inside, carrying a battered guitar case and a tired smile. "Hey, I'm sorry for being late," he said, dropping the case gently. "Traffic was worse than I thought." Lena nodded, feeling an unexpected flutter of relief. "It's okay. I was just waiting." They exchanged awkward smiles, the silence stretching between them. But then Max looked around and laughed softly. "Cozy place. Feels like a secret hideout." "Yeah," Lena said, "just a roommate. Until midnight." Max raised an eyebrow. "Until midnight?" "Yeah." She smiled shyly. That's when the real me comes out. Curious, he leaned forward. "And who's that?" Lena hesitated, then confessed, "A writer. I stay up late, working on my stories when the city sleeps." Max nodded appreciatively. "I get it. I'm a musician. Nights when inspiration hits." Suddenly, the clock struck midnight. The apartment, once so quiet, now felt alive with possibility. Over the next few hours, they shared stories, dreams, and fears. The line between just roommates blurred with every laugh and every shared secret. Midnight wasn't an ending. It was a beginning of something neither expected. The minutes slipped away like seconds. Lena found herself opening up more than she ever had with a stranger, or even a friend. Max listened intently, his eyes reflecting a kindness she hadn't expected. "So, what kind of stories do you write?" he asked, resting his guitar case against the wall. "Mostly fiction. Sometimes I get lost in worlds that feel more real than this one," Lena admitted, tucking a stray strand of hair behind her ear. Max grinned, strumming a few gentle chords on his guitar. "Sounds like you and I are cut from the same cloth. I write songs to escape reality, or at least to make it a little more bearable." Their conversation floated effortlessly. Lena felt the walls of the apartment closing in, not in a suffocating way, but like they were wrapping her in a warm embrace. Max's presence was calming, and his quiet confidence made the space feel less lonely. When Lena glanced at the clock again, it was nearing 3 a.m. They'd been talking, laughing, and sharing music for hours. Neither wanted the night to end. "Do you want to hear a song I wrote?" Max asked suddenly, his voice softer now. Lena nodded eagerly. Max picked up his guitar and began to play, the melody raw and haunting. His voice was deep and steady, filling the room with a bittersweet tune about loneliness and hope. Lena felt tears prick her eyes, not from sadness, but from the beauty of the moment. When the last note faded, Lena smiled, her heart pounding. "That was incredible. You have a gift." Max shrugged, a bit bashful. "Thanks. It's easier to pour my soul into music than into conversations." "Well, I think you did both tonight," Lena said, her voice barely above a whisper. For a long moment, they sat in silence, the connection between them unspoken but undeniable. Then, as dawn began to paint the sky with soft pinks and oranges, Lena realized something important. She wasn't alone anymore. Just a roommate. Until midnight. Yes. But now, maybe something much more. The first rays of sunlight seeped through the curtains, casting a warm glow over the small apartment. Lena rubbed her eyes, still feeling the lingering magic of the night. Max was leaning back on the couch, guitar resting beside him, eyes half closed but peaceful. But just as she was about to speak, her phone buzzed sharply on the table. She picked it up, her smile fading as she read the message. "Hey, Lena, about that rent. Can you send your half today? I'm tight on cash this month." It was from Jake, the landlord. Lena's stomach twisted. She hadn't planned for this extra expense so soon. The move had already drained her savings, and now this sudden pressure was like a cold splash of reality. Max noticed her change in expression immediately. "What's wrong?" he asked, sitting up. "It's the rent," she said quietly. "Jake wants the money today. I don't have it all." Max frowned, his easygoing demeanor shifting. "I might be able to help out, at least this time." Lena hesitated. "Are you sure? I don't want to owe you anything." Max smiled softly. "We're roommates now. Besides, you helped me last night by just being here." Her cheeks flushed. "Thanks, Max. That means a lot." But just then, the doorbell rang. They both froze. Neither of them was expecting visitors. Max got up cautiously and peeked through the peephole. His face went pale. "It's my ex," he muttered. Lena's heart skipped. "Ex?" Max nodded. "She's complicated." He opened the door, and a woman stepped inside without waiting for an invitation. Her eyes darted between Max and Lena with a mix of surprise and something unreadable. "Max," she said sharply, "we need to talk. Now." Lena stepped back, suddenly feeling like a stranger in her own home. The night's warmth vanished, replaced by tension so thick it could be cut with a knife. The woman's eyes locked onto Lena, a flash of something like challenge or suspicion in her gaze. "Lena, this is Claire," Max said, voice tight. "My ex." Claire's stare was sharp. "So this is the new roommate, huh?" Lena forced a polite smile, though her heart pounded. "Nice to meet you." Claire crossed her arms. "I came because we need to clear some things up. Max and I aren't exactly done." Max's jaw clenched. "Claire, not now." Claire glanced around the apartment, her eyes lingering on Lena's belongings. "Looks like you've already moved in." Lena felt the air thicken. She didn't want to be caught in this, but somehow she was. Max turned to her, voice low. "I'm sorry. This isn't how I wanted things to start." Lena nodded, swallowing the sudden lump in her throat. "It's okay. I get it." Claire smirked. "I hope you do. Max and I have history, a lot of history." Max stepped between them. "Claire, leave. We can talk later." Claire's eyes flicked back to Lena. "Just a warning. Things here might get messy." And with that, she strode out, slamming the door behind her. Max sighed deeply, rubbing the back of his neck. "I'm sorry you had to see that." Lena took a deep breath. "It's okay. Honestly, I'm glad you were honest." Max gave her a grateful look. "Thanks, Lena. I hope this doesn't change things." Smiled back, the tension easing between them. The night was far from over, but maybe, just maybe, they'd find a way through it together. The next morning, the apartment felt heavier, the sunlight unable to chase away the lingering tension Claire's visit had left behind. Lena sat at the small kitchen table, stirring her coffee absently, while Max paced near the window, phone pressed his ear. She smiled softly. "Maybe it just means this roommate arrangement is more complicated than I thought, but I'm willing to see where it goes." "Max, I don't want drama here, Max," Lena said quietly, breaking the silence. "But if Claire's would keep showing up, we need to set some boundaries." Max sighed, and in the call, "I'm trying. She's not exactly easy to shake off. We got unfinished business, but that's my problem, not yours." Lena looked up, meeting his eyes. "Look, I didn't sign up for this chaos, but I also didn't expect to feel this." She paused, searching for the word, "connected." "So if we're going to be roommates, we need to be honest with each other and with ourselves." Max nodded slowly. "Agreed. No more secrets." They shared a small smile, a fragile truce forming. Days passed, and Claire's shadow lingered but lessened. Lena and Max found moments of quiet companionship, working side by side, sharing meals, even laughing at small jokes. One evening, as the clock neared midnight, Lena was curled up on the couch with a notebook, scribbling story ideas. Max strummed the guitar softly, the music weaving around her words. Suddenly, Max stopped playing. "Hey, do you want to go for a walk? Clear our heads." Lena hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, I'd like that." Outside, The city was calm, the night air cool and refreshing. They walked side by side, neither rushing to fill the silence. Finally, Max broke it. "You know, I never thought sharing an apartment would turn into this." Lena smiled, glancing at him. "Me neither. Just roommates until midnight. But maybe midnight is when things really start." Max looked at her, a quiet hope in his eyes. "Maybe it is." And under the soft glow of the streetlights, something new began. Something neither of them expected, but both were ready to explore.